If you're considering investing in an easy-to-install Minirack ultraviolet disinfection system to make sure your well or lake water is safe for your family at your home, cottage, or cabin, you need to make sure you're investing in the right one. But how do you know which one is best for you? Check this out. Hi, I'm Gary the Water Guy, and I simplify water filtration to help you conquer crappy water for your family. Families with their own well or lake water source are using ultraviolet disinfection to make sure that well or lake water is safe and bacteria-free for your family at your home, cottage, or cabin. Minirack ultraviolet disinfection systems have become very popular, especially with the do-it-yourself crowd, because they're super easy to install because the pre-filters are on the same manifold as the ultraviolet disinfection chamber. Because you don't have to assemble it all to the manifold, like I say, it's much easier to install. But remember, this is a long-term investment for your family, so you need to choose wisely. By the end of this video, you'll have all the information you need to decide whether the Hume Safe Water 10, Viqua IHS12-D4, Luminor LBH5-Z22, or the Purifiner Minirack Ultraviolet Disinfection System is the best choice for you. Keep in mind that I've got review videos on each one of these four. I'll put a link in the description down below if you're looking for more in-depth info. Not sure how these ultraviolet disinfection systems actually work? I've got a great YouTube video that explains the whole thing. I've got a link in the description down below. So in fourth place, we have the Purifiner Minirack Ultraviolet Disinfection System. It scored 76 out of 100. So the problem with this system, I mean, it does the job. It's fairly easy to install, although you do have to assemble it yourself. And one of the advantages is very low profile because the lamp gets changed out through the side. If you don't have a lot of space in your crawl space, it's only 2 or 2.5 feet tall, this one might be a good choice for your family. The problem with it is the maintenance. So once a year, the lamp needs to come out and the sleeve needs to come out and the sleeve needs to be cleaned. Getting that sleeve out is a horror show. What happens is there's O-rings on either end that hold the sleeve in place and make it watertight. The sleeve is actually too short. So because of that, it barely sticks out a little bit at either end. So it's really tough to make a watertight seal. What's even worse is when it comes time to remove that sleeve, the O-ring wedges in between the caps on the end and the chamber itself, and you can't get them out. And you have to actually dig them out with a pointy screwdriver or something like that. And your chances of not breaking that sleeve are incredibly slim. Not the greatest to install, a horror show to maintain. There's better choices. But I guess if you're going to pay someone to do the maintenance for you, it may be a viable option. But the only problem is, I know at our store, no one wants to do it. In terms of pluses, it's relatively inexpensive. It has a low profile, so if you've got limited height for where you need to install it, that's definitely a plus. And the stainless steel bracket looks great. In terms of minuses, it comes with 2 manuals, none of which are for the complete system, and it's a nightmare to service. What's that equal? There's better choices elsewhere for your money. A major improvement over the Purifiner system are our 3rd and 2nd place winners. 3rd place goes to the Luminor LBH5-Z22 3-stage rack ultraviolet disinfection system. So Luminor insists their system is a rack system as opposed to a mini rack system. Tomato, tomato. In fact, the Luminor system would have scored much higher, except for one thing, and we'll get to that in a moment. The Luminor system is very well engineered. In fact, out of all of these mini rack systems, it's the newest of the bunch. It has a lot of great features. It has drain plugs at the bottom of the filter housings to make maintenance a lot easier. It has a little window in here that'll show you whether the light is on or not. And again, it's arranged horizontally. You don't need as much space above the unit because you're changing the lamp to the side. Now you have to plan for being able to change the lamp to the side in this case. And out of all these mini rack systems, it's the only one that'll accept a solenoid to be plugged right into it. They have a number of other options like their concierge service and a bunch of other things available for the Luminor system that the other ones could only dream of. So overall, the Luminor scored 89 out of 100. Now, I need to specify that this is a Luminor Black Home system. Luminor makes these exact same systems private label for a number of other companies like Culligan, Water Depot, Nelson, and a bunch of others. It's basically the same system, but with one major difference, and that's why this is in 3rd place as opposed to 2nd place. And the difference is those are all proprietary systems. What does that mean? That means the replacement lamp and the sleeve, you have to buy it from whoever you bought the system from. So in other words, if you bought a Culligan system, you have to get the replacement lamp and sleeve from Culligan, which means they can charge just about whatever they want. But if you get the Luminor Blackcomb system, like the ones that we handle, then You can get the replacement lamps from anyone that sells Luminor systems. Anywhere in North America, you can order them online. Try ordering an online replacement lamp for a Culligan system. And how they become proprietary is with this key. So when you replace the lamp, you also get a new key for it and you plug it in. If you've got one of those proprietary systems and you buy a non-proprietary lamp, the lamp will fit, but because the key is different, it won't work. And that can cause a lot of confusion. We've already had concerns in our store where folks have been buying the replacement lamps from us for their proprietary systems, and then they have to return them because they don't work. And another concern I have about these Luminor systems is they're only available in two sizes, 8 gallon per minute and 15 gallon per minute. So if you need 18 gallons per minute, you got to go somewhere else. They are relatively easy to install. They come mostly assembled out of the box, and they are reversible. Now you do need to unbolt the filter housings from the manifold itself to be able to reverse it, but it is reversible. They also have a neat design of the filter housings where the manifold at the top is a one-piece design, so you never have to worry about them leaking between the two filter housings, and the filter housings have a drain plug at the bottom. These 20-inch big blue filter housings get really heavy when they're full of filters and full of water. So when you're changing them, it makes it a little bit difficult. But with that drain plug at the bottom, it drains out the water, makes it a much easier task. So another great feature of the Luminor systems, on all the other Minirack systems, the lamps are good for 365 days. The Luminor system, the lamps are good for 420 days. So although the replacement lamp for the Luminor system are fairly costly, especially when you compare it to the Purifiner or the Hume systems, but you do have to realize that these are good for 420 days, where the others are only good for 365 days. These do come with the bigger 20-inch big blue filter housings, and those filters that fit inside are obviously more money than the slimline filters, so that is an additional cost. But if you need that extra capacity, you'll also have to change the filters less often. So when it comes to the Luminor system in terms of pluses, modern technology, relatively easy to install, but much easier to maintain, because when it comes time to change that UV lamp, all you do is put the new lamp in, put the new key in, and it's automatically reset. In terms of minuses, there's that confusion out there between the proprietary and the non-proprietary replacement lamp and sleeve, and the filters are kind of costly. What's that equal? It's a good choice for a low-profile system where the lamp can be changed out through the side, but make sure that you're investing in the non-proprietary Luminor Blackcomb version instead of those proprietary ones. As I mentioned earlier, I've got full YouTube video reviews on all of these systems. I'll put a link in the description down below. So in second place, we get the Viqua IHS12-D4 with 90 out of 100. Now, this system's been the premium Minirack system out in the market for quite a long time, and it's got a lot of great features. So it has the three-piece filter housings, which means that when you're changing the filters, you're not turning the housing against the O-ring that's at the top. You're spinning this off and then removing the housing. And it has drain ports at the bottom, so you can drain the system down. Great feature. The display has an LED readout on it. One of the big negatives of this system, though, is it's not reversible. So if your water flows left to right, makes perfect sense. Flows in this side, goes through the system, flows out that side. Great. But if your water flows from right to left, you have to take the pipe, bring it all the way to this side. Then when it comes out of here, you've got to take it all the way across the unit again. So you're crisscrossing the unit twice with your plumbing, which is a big negative. Another negative, if you don't have a lot of height available, is the lamp needs to be replaced out through the top. So because of that, you need a good 20 inches above, 30 inches below, so you can see that if you're in a tight crawl space, this one's a little bit difficult to use. The replacement filters, the replacement lamp is the most expensive of the bunch, and this whole system is the most expensive of the bunch. So like I say, it's definitely a premium system. So some folks have had difficulties changing the lamp and removing the sleeve for the maintenance. They changed from this black sleeve bowl to this gray one. That was supposed to eliminate the problems, but still we've had a number of folks that have been struggling with that. So it's a little bit more difficult to service. We've also been somewhat surprised that the ballasts haven't lasted all that long. Now, I definitely suggest you always plug your ballast, doesn't matter what brand you have, into a surge suppressor. That'll protect it from those brownout, the power failures. But for the cost of the replacement ballast on these, I'm really surprised that they don't have all that long of a life expectancy. So in terms of pluses for the Viqua IHS12-D4, it's been around for a long time. It's a premium product. Lots of plumbers know how to install these. It's easy to get service on them. It's easy to get the replacement lamps. In terms of minuses, it is the most expensive system. It's not reversible, so installations can be a pain, and it's not as reliable as you'd think being a premium product. So what's that equal? Well, it's a good choice if you're looking for a premium system that everyone knows how to service and you don't mind paying up for it. And once again, we've got a great YouTube video review on this product if you're looking for some more information, and the link is down below. And by the way, if you're looking for more information on any of these UV Minirack ultraviolet disinfection systems, you can go to our websites, either watereStore.com in the US or watereStore.ca in Canada. We offer free shipping and discount pricing. So our winner is the Hume Safe Water 10 Minirack ultraviolet disinfection system. It's our own private label brand. It's manufactured for us by UV Dynamics in Canada. And this is a great system. It features the slimline filters. If you don't need a lot of capacity, you don't have to keep buying those expensive filters. It's fully reversible. So literally as it comes out of the box, you can either plumb it from right to left like this one is, or just turn it 180 degrees, put the ballast on the other side, and it works perfectly from left to right. You replace the lamps through the top, but it does have a fairly low profile. Super easy to winterize because it's got a drain plug at the bottom of the ultraviolet disinfection chamber itself. And it is available with those larger 20-inch big blue filter housings, and it's available in sizes from 6 gallons per minute up to 20 gallons per minute. So by far it is the easiest to install and it is the easiest to maintain. Now there is one little glitch in the maintenance in that a few steps you have to go through to reset the timer once you replace the UV lamp. It's also much lower in cost than either the Luminor or the Viqua systems, and it's almost as inexpensive as the Purifiner, but you get a whole lot more for your money. But all isn't perfect. Like I mentioned, you do need to replace the lamp through the top, so you do need about 4 feet of vertical height to be able to install one of these, and the timer inside here doesn't have a digital countdown. It doesn't show you how many days you have remaining. You have to push the button on the front and it'll flash the amount of months that you have remaining. One flash will indicate for each month that you have remaining. And let's not forget, those lower cost slimline filters have more than enough capacity for most homes, cottages, and cabins at a much lower cost. So when it comes to the Hume Safe Water 10 Minirack ultraviolet disinfection system, in terms of pluses, it's a proven product. We found it to be very reliable, very low cost, and the replacement lamps, again, are very low cost and they're totally non-proprietary. In fact, obviously you can order the replacement lamps from us online, but you can even order them from Amazon. In terms of minuses, you need that 20 inches of height to replace the lamp, and it doesn't have a digital display. And that equals a system that's very easy to install, very easy to maintain, and much lower cost over the life of the system when you consider the initial lower investment, but also the lamps are much lower cost. So over 20 years, it really adds up. And you guessed it, we've got another full review on the Hume Safe Water 10 ultraviolet disinfection system. I got a link in the description down below. And you can check out this summary to see how each UV Minirack disinfection system compares to each other in all the different areas in which we do our judging. And here you can see the breakdown of the scores. So what do I have in my home to make sure my well water is safe and bacteria free for my family? I have the Hume Safe Water 10 Minirack ultraviolet disinfection system. Click up here for your next video on ultraviolet disinfection, and I'll see you there. Any questions or comments? Add them down below.